watching GVTV News.
Thanks, Mark, and I'm Randy Hansen. In today's world news headlines, Norwegian mass killer Breivik sentenced to maximum prison term. And U.S. drone strike kills 16 in Pakistan. And Isaac approaches Haiti. And hurricane strength expected next week. And Governor Rick Scott of Florida says RNC preparing for Isaac. And Romney calls for ending federal regulation of drilling and mining. And Bain docks points to offshore ties. And a group says at least 100 killed in Syria violence. And U.S. reporter missing in Syria. An ex-Argentine dictator on trial for disappearances. And fourth soldier accused in Chen case demoted and fined. An ex-U.S. ambassador to Iraq and Afghanistan charged for drunken hit and run. And immigration agents challenge Obama reprieve for undocumented youth. And judge rules TVA liable for 2008 coal ash spill. And Greenpeace activists occupy Russian oil rig in the Arctic. GVTV News is broadcast on Grass Valley Television, a division of Rural County's television network, whose focus is on community involvement. We also air on NCTV. But before these stories, GVTV News would like to thank one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's first world news story, a Norwegian court has convicted mass killer Anders Behring Breivik for the bombing and shooting rampage that left 77 people dead 1 year ago. On July 22, 2011, Breivik set off bombs at government buildings in Oslo, killing 8 people before shooting dead 69 others at a Labour Party youth camp, most of whom were teenagers. Breivik was said to he targeted the ruling Labour Party because its policies were too open to Muslim immigrants. In a long-awaited verdict earlier the other day, a 5-judge panel declared Breivik to be sane and fit for trial, sentenced him to 21 years behind bars, the maximum prison term under Norwegian law, but it can later be prolonged. And at least 16 people have been killed in U.S. drone attacks in northwest Pakistan. Pakistani officials say the strike targeted a militant compound. It's unclear if any civilians died in the attack. Obama's administration policy for drone strikes deems all adult male victims as militants unless exculpatory evidence emerges after their deaths. And Tropic Storm Isaac has picked up strength as it heads for the Dominican Republic and Haiti, but appears unlikely to reach hurricane strength before striking the island of Hispaniola. Forecasters now say Isaac may not reach hurricane status until Monday, when it will be somewhere over the Gulf of Mexico. And on Thursday, Florida Governor Rick Scott attempted to allay concerns Isaac could threaten next week's Republican National Convention in Tampa, saying there are no plans to cancel the event. He said Isaac is a unique storm in this regard. It has the potential to threaten a major convention designated a special national security event. That's why I have convened local, state, and federal convention officials for twice daily briefings. Goal is to make sure everyone that has the best information available, complete picture of the situation, everything's needed to make good decisions. These officials have been working together to plan the convention for the last 18 months. Possibility for a hurricane has been part of that planning process. On the campaign trail, Republican candidate Mitt Romney has unveiled a new plan that would radically alter the nation's energy policy. On Thursday, Romney called for the end of long-standing federal regulations of oil and gas drilling and coal mining on government-owned lands, and instead transferring responsibility over to the states. Move would mark a huge win for oil and gas companies, as states notoriously have weaker regulatory mechanisms than the federal government. Romney also vowed speedy approval of the Keystone XL oil pipeline from Canada's tar sands to the Gulf Coast. Speaking in New Mexico, Romney said his plan would lead the United States to energy independence. And he said this is not just a matter of economy and jobs and rising incomes and a growing economy and more tax revenues. It's also more security. It means we don't have to rely on people who in some cases don't like us very much, like that America will be able to stand on its own. We'll stand arm in arm with our friends from Mexico, our friends in Canada, and assure that we all have energy we need to keep America powered and to make sure that our military never has to borrow from someone across the ocean that might not be our best friend. Romney unveiled his plan just days after taking in nearly $10 million from the oil and gas industry in 2 fundraisers. According to the New York Times, Romney's staff drafted his plan with energy industry executives, including billionaire oil tycoon Harold Hamm. Murky details of Mitt Romney's fortune have come closer to light with the release of massive trove of internal audits and other documents for 21 cryptically named entities in which Romney had invested. Website Gawker reports nearly all of the entities were linked to Bain Capital, the private equity firm Romney co-founded, that many were offshore funds based in the Cayman Islands. Gawker says the document revealed the mind-numbing maze-like and deeply opaque complexity with which Romney has handled his wealth. Documents also reportedly showed that investments Romney described as part of his retirement package at Bain were not made until years after he left the company. Well, it just shows how successful he is. Maybe he could help our country. The regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad continues to launch attacks around the capital of Damascus as a bid to root out armed rebels. Opposition Syrian Observatory for Human Rights claims at least 100 people were killed in nationwide violence on Thursday after some 200 died the day before. Family of the U.S. reporter covering the conflict in Syria has disclosed he is gone missing. Austin Tice, a freelance journalist, law student, and U.S. military veteran, has not been heard from in over a week. He had intended to leave Syria earlier this month. And Argentina's last dictator, Ronaldo Bignon, is facing a new trial over the kidnappings and disappearances of political opponents and the deliberate theft of babies from political prisoners. Bignon and 2 other defendants are already serving jail sentences for other abuses under Argentina's military regime. A lawyer of the group's Grandmothers of the Plaza de Mayo said the defendants presiding over the disappearances of the thousands of people said Mariano Gaitan, that's who was speaking, said in this area where the military center was Campo de Mayo, an estimated 5,000 comrades disappeared. Among them were many women who were pregnant and who had young children that were kidnapped. The grandmothers are still looking for many of the children. They have found some of them, but they continue looking and also searching for justice for the disappearance and deaths of these people. It is believed that the Argentine military dictatorship killed at least 30,000 Argentines during its rule from 1976 to 1983. 4th of 8 U.S. soldiers court-martialed in the death of Army Private Danny Chen have been punished with a demotion and brief reduction in pay. 19-year-old Chinese-American Chen allegedly took his own life just weeks after he was deployed to Afghanistan last October. The family says Chen had been abused by comrades on almost a daily basis, including racist hazing, with soldiers throwing rocks at him, calling him ethnic slurs, and forcing him to do push-ups or hang upside down with a mouthful of water. In a summary court-martial, Sergeant Travis Carden was demoted to specialist and forced to give up 2/3 of his pay for 1 month. A former U.S. ambassador to Iraq and Afghanistan has been arrested in Washington state on charges of drunken driving and hit and run. Ryan Crocker was detained in Spokane Valley earlier this month after allegedly hitting a semi-truck and then driving away. He was found to have a blood alcohol content twice the legal limit. Crocker retired as the U.S. ambassador to Afghanistan earlier this year after previously serving as the U.S. ambassador to Iraq. A group of immigration agents are challenging the Obama administration's policy suspending deportation for undocumented residents who came to the United States as children. The lawsuit on behalf of 10 immigration agents was filed in Texas by Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach, who helped draft the controversial anti-immigration laws in Arizona and Alabama and is an informal advisor to Republican candidate Mitt Romney. Lawsuit alleges the Obama administration deferred action for childhood arrival program prevents the agents from detaining immigrants who could threaten public safety. The new program grants temporary legal status to live and work in the country to undocumented people who meet certain conditions, including being under 31 as of June 15, 2012. Tens of thousands of young undocumented immigrants stood in massive lines across the country to apply for deferred action when the policy went into effect last week. A federal judge has ruled the Tennessee Valley Authority is liable for a massive coal ash spill that polluted surrounding areas in 2008. Kingston fossil plant spill released more than 1 billion gallons of toxic coal ash, burying homes and roads to what believed to be the largest coal ash disaster in U.S. history. In a victory for hundreds of Platons, Federal District Court Judge Thomas Varlin ruled Thursday that TVA can be held responsible for damages. And 6 activists in environmental group Greenpeace have occupied a Russian oil rig to protest drilling in the Arctic. The rig belongs to a Russian state-owned energy giant, Gazprom, which is set to become the first company to produce Arctic oil through drilling operations in the Pechora Sea. Greenpeace says its members have enough supplies to last them for days. Group includes Greenpeace Executive Director, South African activist Kumu Naido. And that's it for World News today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News.
Soundcheck Music Center, the Rock and Roll Connection. We have guitars, amps, drum equipment, sound accessories, lessons, and repairs. We are located at 671 Maltman Drive, Grass Valley. 530-272-7236, open 7 days a week.
No one needs anyone, they don't even just pretend. John is an American. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't.
That's right, it's time for the police blotter and pictures in the blotter, not from these actual events, but used for visual aid only. These public records are obtained for daily logs issued from Nevada County Law Enforcement, Grass Valley Police Department on Thursday, 8:34 a.m. A report was made from the 100 block of West Berry Hill Drive of theft of an iPhone from a vehicle. 8:36 a.m. a report was made from the 300 block of North Church Street of a mountain bike that had been stolen and another bicycle had been left in its place. 9:39 a.m. a report was made 100 block of Catherine Lane of transients who were using a water hose. 11:02 a.m. a report was made in Empire Street near Empire Mine State Park of hearing gunshots. 12:10 p.m. report was made Church and Neal Street of a man riding on the sidewalk with chalk to protest a bank. And 2:05 p.m. a report made from Highway 49 and Colfax Avenue of a small child sitting in a passenger's lap inside a van. And 2:22 p.m. a report was made Railroad Avenue of 2 possible drunken men with no shirts giving each other piggyback rides. One man was arrested on suspicion of being under the influence of a controlled substance. And 5:38 p.m. a man from 100 block of Ophir Street reported the theft of a cruiser bike. And 6:09 p.m. a report was made 100 block of Neal Street of very drunken boy. At 7:20 p.m. caller reported the same boy at Memorial Park. 7:21 p.m. a report was made 700 block of Taylorville Road of a man passed out with no pants on. He was transported to the emergency room. 7:37 p.m. a report was made 100 block of Mill Street of counterfeit bills. 7:49 p.m. a report was made at Mini Park of 2 or 3 men in a fight with one man being pinned to the ground, other men saying they were going to kill him. It was found to be mutual combat. And 10:15 p.m. a report was made Pelton Way of hearing a woman scream. No one was located. 10:40 p.m. a report was made 100 block of Dorsey Drive of a man drinking and masturbating. He was arrested on an outstanding warrant. Nevada County Sheriff's Office on Thursday. 10:05 a.m. a report was made at Alta's Vista Avenue of an elderly neighbor who had been stealing everyone's mail. Caretaking options were being considered. And 10:42 a.m. a report was made, Highway 20, that campers left without paying. And 10:48 p.m. a person on Ridge Road was cited on suspicion of possessing marijuana. And 1:02 p.m. a report was made, Smartsville, of being scammed out of $4,000. And 2:09 p.m. a report was made 11,000 block of Rough and Ready Highway of a burglary to an outdoor storage container. At 2:59 p.m., a man from Dugans and Wolf Roads reported a man in a pickup asked his daughter if she needed a ride, then followed her and asked her again. He could not be located. 4:19 p.m., a report was made at Thistle Loop of a fight between a man and his son. No charges were desired. And 4:23 p.m., a report was made at 10,000 block of Alta Street of a possible physical fight between transients. And 4:27 p.m., a report was made 17,000 block of Penn Valley Drive of the theft of a duffel bag and laptop from a parking lot. And 4:37 p.m., a report was made from 10,000 block of Gaudier Drive of a woman crying and yelling. And 5:11 p.m., a report was made at 17,000 block of Penn Valley Drive of a person selling drugs. No one was located. And 6:02 p.m., a report was made from 11,000 block of Tower Hill Roads of hearing several gunshots. And 6:51 p.m., a report was made from Dog Bar Road and Springfield Drive of a vehicle burglary. And 7:55 p.m., a report was made at Highway 174 and Sunrise Lane of people parked in a motorhome partying. A woman was arrested on suspicion of possessing a controlled substance without a prescription, resisting arrest, and bringing drugs or alcohol into jail. Well, alcohol is a drug, so I don't know why they said that. 9:07 p.m., a man in Tyler Foot Crossing Road and Highway 49 reported people with guns threatening to shoot him. He said they were following him from North San Juan. And Friday, 12:53 a.m., a woman from 11,000 block of Reagan Way reported someone tried to break into her residence. No one was located. And 12:55 a.m., a woman from Quail Lane reported someone kicked in her door. And Nevada City Police Department on Thursday, 11:12 a.m., a report was made from 300 block of Nile Street of a fight between a man and a woman, with the woman possibly holding scissors. It was a verbal argument only. And 2:46 p.m., a report was made from South Pine Street of people smoking marijuana and cigarettes. They were moving on. And 3:27 p.m., a juvenile from 200 block of High Street reported her mother hit and bit her. The woman was arrested on suspicion of child endangerment. At 7:48 p.m., a report was made at Deer Creek overpass of a woman possibly soliciting sex and selling drugs under the bridge. At 9:52 p.m., a report was made 500 block of Nimrod Street of a man hit a woman. A man was arrested on suspicion of desertion. And that's it for the blotter today. Now it's time for our special roving reporter, Juan Brown's new segment we eagerly await for each week. Over to you,
This is Juan Brown, your roving reporter for GVTV News on NCTV with your outdoor and recreation report. Some days when the news of the world is just getting you down and the police blotters getting a little too close to home, it's time to get away and go camping.
Well, Juan, it looks like a place I want to be, and looking forward to this episode. By the way, who does your hair?
What's that, Randy? My hair? What are you teasing me about my hair? Who does my hair? This is reality TV, Randy Vision. We don't have the budget for a hairstylist out here in the field. We got hard work to do.
A budget? Let me look into that. Maybe if we can get some underwriters, I can help you out.
Morning, Randy. We're up here on Hay Press Creek, just outside of Sierra City, California. Hay Press Creek flows into the North Fork of the Yuba River. Real pretty little creek here and a set of waterfalls. We're just 1/4 mile up from Wild Plum Campground. A great place to bring the family. A drive-in style campground with about 30 well-kept campsites, clean vault toilets, and potable water facilities right there at the Wild Plum Campground. It's good and shady all day long, and it's right along the edge here of the creek. $21 a night, a great bargain and a great getaway really close to Grass Valley in Nevada City. Fun for the entire family.
Mommy? Mama, why can't I go to my friend?
Because we have to go on the Baton Death March first. What's right there?
That's the deer's bed.
That's where the deer sleeps, right there, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they have a little river to drink with.
Where?
Over there.
Oh, yeah. You like, huh? Reporting for GVTV News and NCTV, this is Juan Brown, your roving reporter in Sierra County. Back to you in the studio, Randy.
Thanks, Juan. We have to work on our transfer back to the station. And now for our local news headlines. Dan Logue says we're not hillbillies. And Neil Armstrong dead at 82. In our first story, Dan Logue issued this press release. North State Assemblyman and Chief Republican Whip Dan Logue responded to the passage of a bill infringe on the rights of hunters. Senate Bill 1221 was approved in full assembly in a party-line vote with Logue and fellow Republicans in opposition. I'm disappointed, though not surprised, that the ruling party made the wrong decision in signing off this terrible piece of legislation, said Logue. The bill poses a danger to legitimate activity enjoyed by generations of Californians throughout the state. SB 1221 by State Senator Ted Lieu would prohibit the use of dogs when hunting a bear or a bobcat. Passage also would cost the state a lost revenue from the sale of hunting tags. It has been supported by a wide range of liberal groups such as the Sierra Club and Animal Legal Defense Fund. Debate also generated controversy at a personal level during the Assembly's Appropriations Committee testimony for the bill on August 8th. A Senate staffer posted pictures of opponents of the bill on his Twitter account under the tagline, "Hillbillies. We are the budget crisis, so why are bills being proposed to cut off funds from activities people enjoy and are willing to pay for?" Logue asked. The way the supporters of this bill conducted themselves show an utter lack of respect and open contempt for the opinions and historical rural way of life enjoyed by generations of Californians. Bill now back on the state Senate for a final vote in Assembly amendments. And here's a statement from Neil Armstrong's family. He passed away. We are heartbroken to share the news that Neil Armstrong has passed away following complications resulted from cardiovascular procedures. Neil was our loving husband, father, grandfather, brother, and friend. Neil Armstrong was also a reluctant American hero who always believed he was just doing his job. He served his nation proudly as a Navy fighter pilot, test pilot, and astronaut. He also found success back at home in his native Ohio in business and academia and became a community leader in Cincinnati. He remained an advocate of aviation and exploration throughout his life and never lost his boyhood wonder of these pursuits. As much as Neil cherished his privacy, he always appreciated the expressions of goodwill from people around the world and from all walks of life. We will mourn the loss of a very good man. We also celebrate his remarkable life and hope that it serves as an example to young people around the world to work hard to make their dreams come true, to be willing to explore and push the limits, and to selflessly serve to a cause greater than ourselves. For those who may ask what they can do to honor Neil, we have a simple request: honor his example of service, accomplishment, and modesty. Next time you walk outside in a clear night and see the moon smiling down at you, think of Neil Armstrong and give him a wink. That's it today for our news, and we'll talk to you Wednesday. That's it for local news today. We would like to thank Amy Goodman, Reuters, Associated Press, Ubinet, Sierra Foothills Report, the Union, local law enforcement, and others for the sourcing of our news, and you for watching. Remember, we are the only visual video news media in Nevada County, and we are free for you to watch 7 days a week. If you have local stories and would like to have them aired on our news, please email us with the story to 750 words, and if you have pictures, please include them in the email to grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com. Please include some type of contact information for verification of facts. You can watch this broadcast on Comcast Cable, NCTV, Channel 11 in Nevada County, 8 a.m., 3 p.m., 7:30 p.m., Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m., Saturday, and 8 p.m. Sunday, and Suddenlink Channel 16 in Truckee and Alta Sierra, same times. We also are streamed on the internet, NCTV's Digital Media Center website at NevadaCountyTV.org and our website, GVTV.org. And don't forget Grass Valley Television, that plays 24/7 on the net, grassvalleytelevision.com. We post to Facebook, YouTube, blip.tv, and many other sites, and have RSS feed and video podcast on iTunes. Just search under video podcast for GVTV News. Grass Valley Television also videotapes local events around Nevada County. If you have a need for video, you can contact us for more info at grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com or 530-362-8889. This show produced by Grass Valley Television of Rural Counties Television Network. We hope you will stay tuned to us for this next season, as we're going to spice up the news in the future. You can always email us ideas and comments, and if you like us on Facebook, we like that. News Player can be embedded on your site, or you can go to our sites, which we had already mentioned. Due to the lack of underwriters this year, we will be doing 3 shows a week, playing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday editions. We should be expanding when we get more community support. Grass Valley Television works hard to bring you news and entertainment from around the world and local content you do not get on mainstream media. We want to expand and improve what you see, and we need your help. If you support this program and want exposure for your business, then this is a win-win situation. Underwriting is important for us. For information, just email us, grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com. Christopher's Old World Deli and Catering Company has brought its delicious food and service downtown Grass Valley. Like desserts? They got 'em. You like international style lunches? They got 'em. Christopher's Deli and Catering for parties, get-togethers, weddings, or whatever. Open 7 days a week.